This is for, but I know it's for someone who's struggling and going through a difficult moment now. I want you to know in life rain will fall, but God will cover you right in the midst of your storm.
It's raining now.
I know it's raining,
but don't keep your head down.
Lift up your head.
Things will work out.
It's going to work out.
Things will work out. They'll work out.
I promise you.
It's been a little rough.
I know it's been rough.
And you feel like giving up.
Don't you do it.
But things will work out.
It's gonna work out.
It will work out.
Let me sing about it. Many late night tears, struggling with all kinds of fears, wondering if God or anyone else hears. But Jesus is working on your behalf, and I guarantee it won't last. Things will work out.
It's raining now.
Oh, it's raining now.
Don't keep your head down.
Don't keep your head down.
Will work out.
Gonna work out. Yes, they will.
Will work out.
Oh.
It's been a little rough.
I know it's been rough.
Feel like giving up.
Don't give up.
Things will work.
Don't you do it, things will work out.
Work out.
Come on, Dave.
You may have had shattered dreams, or promises unfulfilled. Asking God, is this really your will? But just hold to His hand and watch Him reveal His plan. Oh, things will work out. Things will work out.
I believe
that
things
yeah,
better.
things are gonna get better, y'all. Oh, for it's written, and I read it for myself in the Bible. There's for I very well believe that you are saved. Just trust and things will work out. Whatever you're facing, whatever you're going through, things will work out. Yeah, whatever it is, give it to Him and things will work out. Yeah. Listen. Pastor Sam, I'm reminded of a Bible verse that my mama used to quote to me.
Oh, yeah.
And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to His purpose. And I want to stand with you today and let somebody know that things will work out. Things will work out, yes they will.
Work out, yes, they will.
Things will work out.
Yes, they will.
Yes, they will. Somebody else to say things will
work out.
Oh, yes, it will.
Whatever you're going through,
He's working it out for your good.
yes, it will.
Things will work out.
No, it will.
No, it will.
Things will work out.
They will. Things will.
It's gonna work out. Yes, it will.
Yes, they will.
Oh, yes, it will.
Work out.
Yes, they will.
Gotta believe.
Yes, they will. Yeah.
Gotta believe.
Will work out.
God bless each and every one of you. What another amazing day this is. Listen, I believe there is something that you're going to glean from today's lesson that's going to totally change your entire life. Do me a favor, hit the share button. Make sure you call, text, tweet as many people as you can. And I want you to bring them into this virtual experience on this day. I'm going to talk about something I guess is perhaps a challenge, a very bold challenge to you. And I want to talk to you and tell you, I dare you to dream. That's right, you. I dare you to dream. I know there's been many obstacles. I know you've encountered perhaps more setbacks than you care to admit to anybody. I know you've been trying to camouflage the degree of disappointment that you've been feeling for a long time now because something did not manifest. It never came to fruition. But I want to look you in your eye and I want to tell you, I dare you to dream. Ladies and gentlemen, dreamers are generally perceived as deranged simply because of how many people seem to interpret our detachment from reality. When you are a dreamer, no question about it, you're in a head place, you're in a faith space that does not necessarily conform to the traditional outlook of life that most people have. When you are a dreamer, you see things differently. You imagine how things could be. And you wonder to yourself, could I have the kind of life in actuality that I envision each and every day of my life? And most people hold dreamers in contempt because they say that we have no logical explanation for our preoccupation with our preferred future. I would say to you that if you're going to dream and see your dreams come to pass in your life, then you can never allow the intensity of your preoccupation with the future you prefer to be lessened by people who are content with where they are and what they have and what they've always had. Isn't it amazing how people hold you in contempt simply because you want something more? I mean, it'd be one thing if I didn't know something more was not a possibility and not highly probable for me. But when I know this is something I could attain, that I can achieve and that I can accomplish, then you have to learn how to discredit and discard everyone who wants to relegate you to the realm of reality or even their reality. Because there are some people who don't want to see you get any bigger than their current reality. They don't want to see you live any larger than they are living. They don't want to see you more exposed than the level of exposure that perhaps they have now. Because dreamers, we are these people who have defiant attitudes. Because there is no way possible you can dream and still be submitted to the confinements of your present reality. Dreamers are what I like to call, we are these forecasters. And it's critical because when you are a dreamer and you're forecasting dreams, vision of your future state, then it doesn't even require an audience. The only person that has to be convinced is the person who's conceived this notion, who has somehow tapped into a greater realm of living and opportunity. And so when you are a dreamer, you have this defiant attitude toward your current reality, which causes you to defy the notion or prediction of others who are attempting to convince you that your present predicament is permanent. I want to pause and tell you that just because it's present does not mean it's permanent. As a matter of fact, when you are a dreamer, you totally detest that notion that where you are is where you're always going to be. No, where I am is only preparation. In fact, it's only a prerequisite from me walking into the ideal place of living that I've always envisioned. And so if I'm going to get to a place where my dreams are materializing, where I am living outwardly what I see inwardly, what must I do? Number one, your dreams must dominate your thought life. In other words, you have to be consumed with and by the materializing of your internal imagery. Every thought is progressively and aggressively moving you toward the internal picture, the prophecy, and the professions over your life. You have to be consumed by it. Dreamers can't dream just when the climate of your life is going well, which is when most people tend to dream. And when the climate shifts from a place of calm to a place of tenseness or chaos, then somehow we shelve our dreams because life seems to be demanding us to deal with what is presenting us. But ladies and gentlemen, every one of you who are dreamers, you have to intensify your consumption with your vision being materialized. You have to have what I like to call this compulsive behavior. What are you doing today? What have you done this day? What are you going to do this day that's going to position your life in a better position in 24 hours from now? What can you do now that will push you closer to laying hands on and taking receipt of the thing that it is you're dreaming about? And so if you're a dreamer, then it must dominate your thought life, which means, ladies and gentlemen, that you have to be very, very selective and very deliberate as to who you allow yourself to entertain, because whoever you are entertaining, now the possibility and the high probability of their influence on your thoughts is very real at this point. And so you must guard your faith space, your ear gate. You have to guard what you are entertaining, because if not, you will begin to lessen your intensity to go toward that goal and reach the next dimension of your life. So if I'm going to see my dreams realized, number one, they must dominate my thought life. Number two, they demand your unwavering focus. Again, you have to be obsessed by the realization of your vision, of your dream, that you do not allow anything or anybody to obstruct your view of the future you in your future state. Oh God, that was good to me. You cannot afford to allow anybody to obstruct your view, to disrupt your line of sight from seeing yourself in your future state. No matter what's in my current, I am always focusing on what's beyond that. As a dreamer, you never see yourself in a smaller house. You're always dreaming of a bigger one. You're never dreaming of yourself with an older car. You're seeing yourself with the one that's right off the production line, and only 20 of them have been released in the United States, because you are dreaming. It demands your unwavering focus, because, ladies and gentlemen, for every dreamer, there is a psychological attack to draw your attention away from your affection. That it's a trick of the enemy. It is a deceptive tactic of the enemy to cause you to be to lose your focus on what it is that you are actually wanting. But if you're going to see everything you have visualized become a reality in your life, then you cannot be a person who has your focus shifting everywhere. One day you're in, the next day you're out. One day you want it, the next day you're not so sure. The Bible declares that a double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways, and let not that man think that he's going to get anything at all. If you don't have focus, you don't have a future. I'm going to let that sink in for a moment, because I want you to really understand that if you have no focus, you have no future. Your future is the result of what you are consistently focusing on in this moment. If I'm going to have my dreams realized, then number one, my dreams must dominate my thought life. Number two, they demand my unwavering focus. Number three, you must defy your perceived self-imposed limitations. Please hear me. You must understand that the majority of the limitations you perceive that you are held captive by are predominantly self-generated. And they are definitely over-exaggerated. Let me give you that again. If you go back and survey your life every time you wanted to attempt to do something that other people thought was perhaps too extraordinary for you, they thought you were biting off maybe more than you can chew, or perhaps you didn't have the educational prowess or the influence to do a particular thing. And then you look back over it and you recognize that the only thing that held up my progress was my self-generated and over-exaggerated limitations. Sometimes you are under bondage and it's unfounded and it's not even based in reality. Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes we are simply adopting and assimilating to some lowered version of ourselves that have been projected upon us through childhood or people who were ignorant and could not see the full scope of your potential, or whether it was because of people who were envious or jealous of you and they spent time talking down on you, trying to talk you out of what you had an innate sense of what was very much possible for you. But you have to get up every day as a dreamer and defy your perceived self-imposed limitations. They have no merit. And the actual limitations that we would have as dreamers, then you position yourself in the right circle, in the right environment, so that you can be nurtured or mentored in that area that perhaps might be deficient, but there is no perceivable limitation on your life. Let me say that to you again. You've got to defy those self-imposed limitations. Oh, I'll never be able to do this. You know, I didn't go to school for that. Well, you're living in an age now where you can self-educate, you can bring on a mentor, you can surround yourself by people who can undergird and nurture you in areas of your life again, that you experience some degree of deficiency, but it's not to the point where any self-imposed or actual limitation in your life has to ground you from accomplishing your dream and your goal. Number 4, if I'm going to have my dreams materialize, if I'm going to see those things that I have been so desperately believing are going to come to pass from my life, you have to dismiss people who have allowed average and mediocrity to become an acceptable form of existence. Whew. That's perhaps more powerful than you know. Because when you begin to evaluate your life, you will begin to understand that failure and victory can usually be contributed to the company that we keep by the influences that we embrace, the people who are in our close proximity, who have influence on how we see ourselves and how we see our world and how we see ourselves playing a major role in our world. But if you're going to see anything substantially begin to manifest in any area of your life, please hear me well. You have to dismiss people who have allowed average and mediocrity to become an acceptable form of existence. You need people really close around you that'll look you in your eye and say, I saw you, you're slacking a little bit. You got to have people around you that tell you stuff like, I think you could have been a little better prepared than that, right? Got to have people around you who are challenging you to always function at the level of your potential. People who are pushing you to operate from a sphere of a high performer, because anything else around you is contributing to you walking in a place of mediocrity And you never want to get to a place where you become just addicted to average. Who follows average? Nobody follows normal. Nobody wants to be attached to normal. Everybody wants to be in connection and in proximity with people who are exceptional. But you will never maintain an exceptional status until you begin to dismiss people who you are allowing in your life, who you've allowed to take resident in your life, who see mediocrity as an acceptable form of existence. Let me tell you today, you are far greater than you even think at any given moment. No matter the level of greatness you walk in, no matter the level of influence you walk in, you are far greater. There is still more in you that you have not yet tapped into. You must announce a mass dismissal in your life of people who are detrimental to your progress. It's not that I don't love you, but I can't allow you to squander the moments I'm trying to take advantage of. Let me say this to you. I want you to brace yourself, because there's getting ready to be some moments that arrive in your life that are going to require you to take advantage of them. And you have to shed even your own feelings of inadequacies and insecurities. And you got to decide at this juncture in your life, I am far greater than any label that's been placed on me. I'm far bigger than my history. I'm far bigger than the mistakes I've ever made in my life. As long as you have a pulse, you still have a purpose. You are a dreamer. And ladies and gentlemen, let me close with this. We're talking about how am I going to see these dreams that I have materialize? How do I move them from a shelved status, or I've thrown them away and decided that it'll never be a reality for me? Number one, they got to dominate your thought life. Number two, dreams demand your unwavering focus. Number three, you got to defy your perceived self-imposed limitations. Number four, you've got to dismiss people who have allowed average and mediocrity to become an acceptable form of existence. Number five, and finally, dreams define the importance of time management. Don't tell me you really want your dream and you have no respect for time. You must understand that there is a scripture, and Moses actually, who wrote the Psalm, he said, God, teach us to number our days that we may apply our heart to wisdom. So there is a correlation between me having the knowledge of my days and my purpose and knowing what to do with what I got left. Oh my God. I got to know what to do with what I have left. And so when I am a dreamer, I don't look at the same span of 24 hours the way everybody else looks at it. They can goof off. They can lay in the bed extra 3 or 4 hours. They could get on social media for a few hours and maybe work on their proposed future 30, 45 minutes a day. That is indicative of somebody who has not grasped the understanding of how limited of a resource time really is. All you have is what you have, but you have to prioritize your life in such a way that I got to make every single day count. Every second is significant. Every minute has meaning. Every hour holds substantial potential for me to prosper, for me to increase, for me to expand in every area of my life. But your dreams won't come to fruition as long as you're taking the clock for granted. That's why I ask people, I'm leery of people when I ask them what they're doing, and they say, I'm not doing anything. Call them back 3 hours later, what's up? Nothing much, not doing anything. Call them back in that evening, what you got going on? Oh, nothing, I'm just chilling. Because you don't understand that every day you are on the planet, it is because you must use everything within your God-given capacity and capability to manifest those things you see internally in your heart and in your spirit. There's somebody watching me now. You need to go back starting this week. You need to get pen and paper in your hand and write out a daily agenda. Your life needs a timeline. Your life needs deadlines so that you're not just spinning your wheels. How will you know when you're there if you don't have any time stamp on a destination when it takes to get there? I mean, if I'm leaving New Orleans and I want to go to Baton Rouge, it should take me about an hour, 10 minutes. But if I'm not aware of the time it takes to get to a destination, 7 hours into the journey, I will have already passed where I'm supposed to be. And I've now exerted energy, effort, gas, resources unnecessarily because I am irresponsible with the time that I have. But ladies and gentlemen, there's a reason you're still here. There's a reason you woke up today. There's a reason you're breathing right now. There's a reason you are looking at me right now. Because you have to streamline the activity of your life and align it perfectly with the actualization of your dream now. If this is not contributing to the realization of my dream, I can't afford to be involved with that. I can't afford to do this. I can't afford to stop doing this to do something that has no value, that is not going to produce the dreams that I have on the inside. I want to tell you today, if you take these principles and if you work them, if you use them, I mean, write them down, pin them up, put them on your mirror and read them every day and watch how expedited the realization of those things that you are seeing in your spirit are going to come to pass in your life. And I came here today to look you in your eye and tell you, I dare you to dream. Getting ready to honor the Lord in our giving on this day. Come on, celebrate the Lord wherever you are. It's a privilege. I tell people all the time, giving is never an option. It's an opportunity for God to show himself very strong and mighty in the area of our economics, our personal economics, our business affairs. Anything that has to do with financing your life, God wants to be involved in that. God's just not involved in it by himself. It is a partnership. Scripture says that if we give, it shall be given back unto us. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over. God will cause men to give unto your bosom. That means somebody's waiting to hear how you spell your last name, to write it into the pay to the order of sign. They're waiting to hear your Cash App handle to send something to you. So we want to always be in a posture of both giver and receiver. In fact, you're not qualified as a receiver until you're in the posture of a giver. God says he will multiply every seed sown. So on this day, I want you to prepare your offering, to present it unto the Lord. Those of you who are tithing, of course, I want you to return the Lord's portion unto the Lord for the kingdom of God, so that there might be meat in the house of God. He's not talking about steaks or salami. He's talking about fresh revelation, words that you can live by, things that will strengthen your faith. So I want you to do that. The giving means are right here at the bottom of the screen. Find the one that's the most convenient. And I want you to take full advantage of the giving opportunity God has given to each and every one of us. If you sow sparingly, you'll reap sparingly. But God says, I'm so good. If you sow bountifully, I guarantee you're going to reap a bountiful harvest in your life. So I want you to get your seed prepared. There are those of you, there are people out there who can sow very specific seed. I'm just going to ask everyone that's watching me this day, simply, I want you to plant a $33 seed offering. That's it. $33 seed. For some people, it doesn't sound like much at all. For some people, it requires their faith. It requires a little stretching, but nonetheless, it's going to produce the blessing of God in your life.
Family, didn't you enjoy the Lord on today's service? Was just amazing. And I know that word was especially designed for you. Bishop Bolden I know he has challenged us to give, but let's not forget to sow into the man of God's life. He's been delivering a powerful word to encourage us, to uplift us every week. So let's sow into his life. It's so easy to do. You can go to his Cash App, $Henry W. Bolden 3, or take out your phone, scan that QR code that's on the screen. You can go to his Zelle or his personal website at henrybolden.com. So go ahead, sow a good seed into the man of God's life. It is good ground.
Well, it really is true. Time really does fly when you're having an amazing time. I want you to know, my brother, my sister, I've had an amazing time in worship with you this day. I certainly pray that you have gleaned something, that you have heard some principle. God gave you some insight, something relevant to your current situation that's going to make all the difference in the world. Let me thank you, as always. Thank you for tuning in each and every single week. I believe there's power in partnership, and I consider you family. I'm glad we are partners. No matter what part of the world you're in, we have people from different cities, states, area code, countries even, that are watching, that are tuned in this very moment. And I want to pronounce the blessings of God over your life wherever you are. Don't forget, make sure you stay connected on all of social media platforms. Don't forget to subscribe and follow me on my YouTube channel, Henry W. Bolden III. I've got some things on there that I believe are going to really, really bless you in a significant way. And I want to hear from you. I want to hear your praise reports. I want to hear what the Lord is doing for you all around this country. You can send me praise reports, prayer requests. I am going to see them, and I am going to respond to you. As a matter of fact, you can go to henrybolden.com and you can send those messages, and I'm looking forward to what God has in store for you. Listen, if you are in our city, or perhaps you are not in the city, but you are planning a visit, don't forget, you can join me every Sunday morning for our in-person worship. That's right. We have our streaming virtual audience, but we are offering in-person experience as well. Each and every Sunday at 9 a.m., 13800 Hain Boulevard. Listen, come as you are. It's not about the clothes, it's about the souls. Bring your family, your friends. I've been saying to so many people, why not make new home your new home? I'm looking forward to seeing you in the house of God. Well, as I always say in closing, always remember that things can change for you at any moment.